brilliantly with a couple of their initiations, and that was enough for ZYF to kind of clean house with his Morphling. Now for game number 2, I'm Coddle Guy bringing you the casting once more, but joining me remotely, I got Mr. David Parker back again. Gods, it looks like maybe we might not see any troll at all, and I'm okay with this.
I'm okay with this so far. I'm not convinced that's going to remain that way. LGD don't have the sniper there, so if they want to go, well, with the other big pick, it is the troll. Instead, though, it's a Shadow Fiend for now, so maybe we're going to get a troll-free series as LGD snag themselves the Shadow Fiend Lina. They seem to know what they want, and EHOME seems to know what they want, and troll is just not on the menu for today.
I'm okay with this. You know, I can keep with my troll diet if that's the case, and you know, we'll cut it out along with the carbs. So Shadow Fiend and Lina picked up here, and I like the grab. Lina has been used mostly as support here, I've noticed, on the Eastern Dota side, whereas, you know, in the Western scene, they're happy to pick up Lina, put her in a mid-lane core position, usually when you're stuck going against a Shadow Fiend and you don't have access to your fun little sniper, and they kind of take that option away from EHOME as well here. But the next go-to lady is always this Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain has been kind of the troll almost, it feels like, here for the Chinese Dota scene. I've seen it every single game. Doesn't seem to be worthy of a ban unless she makes it through the first phase, but more often than not, she doesn't make it through the first phase. She'll be snagged up inevitably, and it's going to be EHOME again and get it. Inflamed did a lot of work with it. We saw in the last game when he was forced into a position to kind of get the most out of that Sonic Wave. He got a refresher there and really made it count by that Roche Pit. So I'm not surprised to see it grabbed here, but yeah, here we go, leading things off. Nothing too crazy or abnormal. Offlaner's going to have to soon come, though, and there's still a lot of prominent options. I want to see some dunks, and I want to see some axe play. He was completely ignored as well in Game 1, which was also a bit of a surprise, so we'll see if he'll pop up here for Game 2.
I hear that ROTK especially will run quite a lot of when it's still available, so if they don't go for something like the Tide again, could see the axe come out, but for now, not the best against the Shadow Fiend Lina, I feel. This is where Axe can somewhat struggle against the burst damage, the magic burst damage, which a Lina and a Shadow Fiend bring to the table, so not sure this is going to be the best game for an Axe, although if they give it some support, get a fast Blink Dagger or at least a fast Vanguard in lane, maybe it could work out. EHOME ban out the Morphling. Here they used themselves to a great effect in the previous game, but worried about LGD snagging it this time around.
Yeah, maybe like, you know what, I see your ZYF Morphling, now let me show you what I can do. As a Sylar Morphling could have been a big deal and something he does love to run personally, but he will be banned out here. No real surprise about that as we move on forward. Just looking over some of the recent pickups here, LGD, also a team not afraid to kind of be a bit ambidextrous with their grabs, and well, where you get rid of something precious like the Morphling for Sylar, he could quickly strike back and get that pesky little Medusa, which is something they have picked up from time to time. And then on top of it, oh, look at that. Well, we're going to get a ban on the axe, so unfortunately I'm not going to get my luxurious dunk action here. But where there's no axe, you still got some good options. ROTK, you know, we've seen him continuously go for the Tide Hunter if he'd like, but he doesn't seem the kind of the guy that will rinse and repeat. I mean, yeah, sure, he's got the Queen of Pain here and again, but for himself, I don't anticipate he's going to be going Tide again. There's still good grabs in like your Clockwork, your Bristleback, and we'll have to see if he falls back on one of those options. Darkseer as well, Gods. Darkseer is something he's been pulling out a lot recently as well. And it's, I don't know if it's been really catching teams off guard, but his wall placement has been pretty stellar, and those illusions can do some serious work when you got these big physical damage cores in the new meta.
Darkseer's fun. I wouldn't mind seeing some Darkseer. It's kind of a hero that's fallen off a bit. For now, EHOME ban out the Brewmaster hero that LGD have run quite a lot of throughout the Summit 3, so a bit of a targeted ban towards them and their playstyle. And judging with the Shadow Fiend, LGD are picking up a second carry here. They're not running, it's every now and then with the Brewmaster they'll run that as their safe laner, but they've done like a Lycan with this, they've done a Slardar if they want to go for a lot of minus armor. But it's normally that secondary carry to go with the Shadow Fiend when they pick up this hero.
Wisp has also been ignored at this point, and that's also interesting to see, as both teams have played it, but the Lycan is what's going to be snagged up here for LGD. A Radiant side Lycan at that, and not something it looks like we've seen too much of. They actually had it about a week ago, it looks like, in their matchup against C-Deck, where they did also have the Shadow Fiend there in hand for maybe. And in that particular lineup, They did
Only
also
10
run with the
seconds.
Leshrek, and then of course their Rubik play. So maybe just looking to do a bit of
5
rinse and
seconds
repeat from that.
remain.
They get the the basics there. They will still need that kind of brash frontliner for whoever they set up in this
Reserve
offlane
time.
position. Not having access to the brew, makes a lot of sense here, but we'll have to see if they really build on top of
10
Lycan's
seconds to
pushing
pick.
presence and pushing game, or what. And well, there's going to be the wisp.
Radiant
So
team
you
are
decide to
now
ignore him.
picking.
Eventually, he's just going to have to pop up and show his face, well, his faceless face. But
Dire
now we have
team
to
are now
see what
picking.
EHOME want to do with their second grab here as far as candidate. They could go right for the Wisp Tiny. Bristleback's also a good option. We'll have to see.
This is just an EHOME classic. Going back to your old TI2 EHOME, the Wisp Tiny, winning games and breaking dreams in the case of a win against RNG Sports. But LGD, yeah, you mentioned like heroes like the Rubik. This feels like a draft they've ran before and had good success with. I think it's going to be the
Only 10
Rubik Lina as their
seconds.
two supports, but even with Lycan on the Radiant side, this is just a
5
hero they can be
seconds.
so
Hurry,
comfortable with. You put
hurry.
Sylar on, to me, one of his best heroes. I think he's probably one of the best Lycan players out there, and
Reserve
they're in
time.
their comfort zone. They can split push the map, something which is especially strong on the Radiant side. They can be menacing around the place. And
Radiant's
EHOME, rather than get a Wisp partner, they're going to pick up the Darkseid that you mentioned as a possible offlaner.
Yeah, RTK is just like, you know what? This Darkseer seems to be working. We're really the only team that's been picking it up, but let's just keep at it here. And
Yeah.
maybe they feel like, you could ban out the Tiny, which they do,
Dire's
but we
back.
have another option. Or maybe we have a better option. We weren't even considering the Tiny. We know that you're not going to ban it, so we'll just get the Darkseer here and now. And the other option, which a lot of these teams have been going for, gods, has been a CK. We could see a Chaos Knight pop
10
up here.
seconds
It's
to
been interesting to watch. The item buildups have been very crazy. I mean, Burning played one not long ago, and he went with a Shadow Blade CK. Recently, we saw it in a matchup where Hyper Glory team actually used it against EHOME, and they went like with a dual bracer, heart kind of a get up there. They didn't find success with it there against in their matchup, but this could be a CK. I'm curious. Either that or a Sven.
Sven!
Oh.
I was thinking they might just go something standard like a Juggernaut. Juggernaut was still in the pool. I'm like, this is still such a good Jug game, but Darkseer Sven, vacuum into just a cleave and Sven with a Stormhammer, that is ferocious stuff. This brings me back to like a DreamHack a couple years ago I was casting where Darkseer Sven was the meta game. You throw in like a Magnus hero there. It was all about this big 5-man team fight around this with Sven duo, and well, we're seeing it return.
How douchey would it have been if EHOME were like, troll, last pick troll.
Yeah.
and they got it. Oh, that would have been great, but no, Sven
We've got
is...
a troll-free best-of-5 series, apparently. No troll bans, even.
Yeah,
like,
this
it's one
is-
thing to get the troll banned game after game, but we're not even getting it banned or picked.
They certainly must have agreed to something, and as I said, they were
10 seconds
chit-chatting
to
away
pick.
while we were waiting for them to use the bathroom and comb their hair and be dressed and ready for their
5
gameplay.
seconds remain.
They were really chatting it up, and they must have said something about, hey, listen, let's just not have troll. We'll ignore them. We won't ban them. You save the ban, we'll save it, and we'll just kind of have some good quality Dota. And seeing something like this Sven, and my
Just a minute
God,
or
what
so
a
now until
badass
the
Sven
game
we got here,
starts.
gods. Look at this
Patience.
guy. He is just
Oh.
decked out. This is ridiculous right now, and he is just certainly...
I gotta... something bad happened. EHOME, they TP'd ROTK bottom, but he didn't get his Observer Ward.
Wait, what?
That's bad.
Oh.
I mean, it's not game losing, but this is like your early game strategy involves getting down this deep ward. He's going to show himself to mind game them into thinking he planted a ward, but he TP'd bottom to try. Yeah, that was a mistake from Lamb. Lamb did not pull him the ward fast enough, so.
Are you sure it's just not the 100 gold mind game? And forces LGD to spend 200 gold worth of sentries just to put him down here.
They're pinging it.
They're pinging it.
One of you has figured out that there are things
ROTK,
in
what a
this world
player.
other
He's
than
like,
desert.
okay, I didn't
Yeah.
get the ward. I'll
30
make it
seconds
count.
to bat.
I'll make
Yeah.
them lose some gold by putting down a sentry that's not even necessary. And I certainly hope that's the case. We'll have to see if it is or not. But
He did salvage
oh.
it by showing himself and kind of mind gaming them. And your Lina on 180 gold may pick up sentries as soon as she can afford it. We'll see, but that is not the start EHOME wanted. They wanted that deep observer ward down with the TP.
It looks like it's set for now. At least they'll plant their obs ward up here to still be able to scout out the bottom rune and see if anyone's looking to kind of add some pressure towards the mid lane. But here we go. Let's get underway without, action breaking out quite yet. I'll introduce Radiant side. We got LGD Gaming. Gal's going to be playing your off-lane Earthshaker here. We got so excited about Sven, we didn't really mention a whole lot as far as where this Earthshaker is going to be going, but it's an off-lane Earthshaker, and he's not blocking the wave either, which is something I usually expect, but he's just going to...
I think he still might. There we go. Okay, just waiting a bit.
All right, he gets as much block off as possible, maybe for efficiency's sake, certainly, so it's nice to see it like that. Meanwhile, mid lane, maybe going to be playing your mid lane Shadow Fiend. We got Zhao Wait, he's going to be playing your Lina. He's been playing a lot of Lina as of recent here, and he's already going to dish out some early harassment onto his arch nemesis captain in ROTK. We also got Sylar, of course, who's playing his heavenly regarded Lycan, and finally we got MMY, also known as X. He's going to be playing your support Rubik.
Right, on the dire side, Team EHOME got ROTK in the off-lane Darkseer. In the mid lane, it's Inflame on the Queen of Pain once more. Top lane, we've got Lamb playing the Vengeful Spirit, IO in the hands of DDC, and that leaves ZYF on the Sven. Came to the top lane last here. They did a nice little play where Sven blocked the range group out in front, so it dies first. So this is the exact same case as last game where Yao, he gets maybe half a level of experience, but now he's going to get zoned out pretty heavily once they've catch on to where he is. Although it looks like he will actually get level 2. There's at least some nice XP for him in this lane, but I don't think that's going to last too much longer.
I'm really curious to see how he's going to be playing this Sven. If he's going to be really built around the farming before he gets really too involved. Do you go right for something like a BKB and then decide to build into damage from there? Do you build more damage, more cleaving power to really take advantage of that potential wombo combo factor? I mean, we're going to have to see where he decides to go, but...
I think he may get some early cleave points just because his supports are going to be stacking a lot for him in the jungle, or maybe even stacking the Ancient, so it is something nice you can do, but now, mid lane, very deep observer ward, a very bit of an odd ward, but something nice because you can plant it from the high ground here, but doesn't look like they're going to be able to get any kills off of this smoke gang.
Yeah, so we'll see though. Lanham is still kind of hanging around here, maybe seeing he can get a bit of a courier snipe. No, for now he just kind of maybe tries to read the situation. If maybe moves a certain way, then he'll know that he has vision up there. MMY though is nearby, but not looking to get too close.
It feels like EHOME have really messed up their early game laning stage from the point of view that Earthshaker's getting complete experience at top lane. He's level 3.5. The Darkseer didn't get his ward down. It feels like this is not the early game that going as it should have for EHOME. So it's not like a disaster for them, but it's definitely going a lot worse than it should be.
Oh, Lanham was waiting out, it looked like, for a courier, but it's actually going to bottom lane to deliver that ring. They see DDC nearby as well, as he just tethers up to also a surprise as Lanham's nearby. So the LGD are like, what is happening here? Why do they have so much attention towards this mid lane? And this makes Earthshaker happy. I mean, he doesn't show it just quite yet, but he could just freely kind of do what he wants in the lane, more so than he's already done. And yeah, like you said, he's having a pretty promising start. He's just happy to bring in the XP. I mean, yeah, he might not be able to get the easiest time getting CS. He's still at 5, which is not too bad. Potentially 6. No, he doesn't get it, but he's still in really good standing. Now they're going to put the trifecta back together, and this is the nice thing about your Sven. He doesn't go cleave quite yet, but he is already dishing away some damage onto this side jungle camp.
Yeah, I think EHOME have a lot of potential to kind of look to snowball in that mid game using the Wisp Sven just to get super aggressive. Queen of Pain, really good mid-game aggressive here. To get a Darkseer with a fast mech, then you've got that big burst heal on top of that. So LGD want to make sure their early game goes pretty well. They get some early gold to maybe fight that kind of a mid-game aggression, and they're going to go for an early tier 1 tower. They've already got the battery. This tier 1 tower not being defended at bottom.
Uh-oh, they go back for maybe as well as the DDC flies in, and they're able to get the quick snag right there. There's your first blood. It goes towards Inflame. And now, at the same moment, though, LGD are just having to keep pressure here. And RTK gets caught with a stun. He goes down just quickly. Not even able to get the surge off and run away. Just Sylar just chomps him to bits.
Oh, Lamb maybe in some trouble. Gets out of range just barely of the Light Strike array. Won't be a second kill going the way of LGD here at bottom lane, but it was a nice little kill as well as the tier 1 tower going down. And just the pressure on that tier 2 tower, forcing out multiple TPs. EHOME having to invest a lot of resources into defending.
Yao gets stunned top lane. And they're almost going to get him. The spirits are out. Oh, DDC, if you could snipe him with this ball. Got him. Nice little connection right there. And they're going to be walking away with a little bit of extra blood on their hands. As they take down their Earthshaker, they even things up 2-2.
Yep. And one of those two being the Wisp denying himself to neutral. So.
Yeah, I was like thinking for a moment, like, where did they get another kill? And
yeah, the Wisp. Yeah, did a deny earlier on purpose, just when he was a bit low and after spending most of his money. So we're going a little bit better for the EHOME side as far as kills go. They did lose that early tower, but as far as net worth, it's very even between the two teams right now. Shadow Fiend at mid having a very rough time though, getting Outlast hit pretty heavily by the Queen of Pain, and the one death on Maybe. This is not a player who... I mean, this is a player who you want to kind of have snowballing and doing really well in the early to mid game, but right now he's being forced to play from behind.
I mean, the nice thing for him is it is Radiant side Shadow Fiend. He can always just work with the jungle there on the side, but this is still giving a lot to Inflame on his Queen of Pain, especially getting that first blood as well, as he does a nice little sidestep to avoid the raise. It's really him in a nice, strong position, and now he's got Sonic Wave ready to work with here. Goes right for the Bounty Rune, MMY kills himself, and he might have just, yeah, he's in trouble. He might go down here, tries to get the lift onto Inflame, but Inflame eventually does get the connection, even from the down the riverside.
Meanwhile, RTK on jungle.
It looks like he will be able to surge. He's on the run. Tries to sidestep and... Yeah, eventually they do catch him out. There's a fissure. That will connect easy. Try to juke that one. And, well, now we're back at even again. 3-3. I mean, give or take the Wisp deny.
So both carries doing very well in the early game. Lycan with a bit of an edge because of the tower gold. And also just has the greater ability to kind of fall back in the jungle. We don't see too many stacks on the dire side as well. Wisp is being much more focused on the lane state. Top lane, they're going to go in, ult Sven, he's alone. Yeah. Like he may be trapped in.
Yeah, he gets
in and...
He gets just absolutely locked down, and that is something that LGD have going in their draft that you just really see right there. Lead in, telekinesis, fissure to follow, sets up for a very easy light strike array, and this Sven, I mean, without having a BKB, he's not going to be going anywhere, and the BKB is not going to be immediate, as he potentially could be just going for, I'm going to say, a Mask of Madness, now that it just seems to be the item that's too hot to trot, and Sven was one of those heroes that, you know, Mask of Madness certainly does justice for him. You can really get the most out of him and his god strength. He's not gone clean yet, so, you know, when they're able to kind of get the big vacuum play anytime soon, he's not going to really be able to splash all that damage out there, but he will be able to easily have his way with that one big target they're able to get the jump on.
It's like mid lane Inflame trying to get aggressive. He has a Sonic Wave available, and Shadow Fiend has to be very careful the result of that, but yeah, it's been good here. This is an offlane Earthshaker, getting a lot done. He's got Tranquil soaring. Hasn't got much as far as CS goes, but it reminds me a bit of like your Spirit Break. You're not really meant to get a lot of time. They go with the Sonic Wave Scream and Inflame. He just so neutral. There's waters around him, but he scouts out Sylar, who was actually trying to take out Roshan. And with the DD Blast, he may go back in. He doesn't care if EHOME knows he's there. He's going to bring this down very quickly, and he's got protection plates.
That was a really nice hit, taking down the Shadow Fiend, and they get that bit of intel to see they're doing the Roche, but yeah, as you pointed out, with the DD, not a problem. Can RTK get something fun here? No, he doesn't have a vacuum, but he's just kind of going to hang out for now, and that wall is... That wall. Yeah.
He went for the sideways wall, hoping like the edge of it would get inside the pit if it got like the full sideways thing. Like, I don't know. It didn't actually cost him any mana. He popped the Soul Ring. It looked bad, but
yeah,
it wasn't awful. I mean, he's going to die now. This to me is a bigger mistake than that wall. He's going to get picked off, and that's a solo kill for Sylar on your Darkseer. That's a much bigger mistake than that messed up wall.
He knows that. I mean, hopefully he can shake that one off. Probably knows that about a couple of 100,000 people just watched him do that wall and then go down there. That hurts. I mean, if I was in his shoes, I'd be like, yeah, okay, well, I'm going to be hearing a lot about that one soon enough. And I wish I was a fly on the wall to hear what the communication was amongst him and his own team. Like, okay, guys. Wall's on cooldown, don't ask. Okay, I'm dying as well, don't ask about that either, alright? So
one of my favorite things during DAC was like when Big God were playing, like one of the Chinese casters like drew little comics about each day, and he would always like do all these like comedic things about ROTK, like how difficult he would set the game for Burning, because he was playing with Burning, so Burning was always like the carry of the team, and ROTK would set the difficult setting based on like how much he would feed, how many ravages he would miss, and I feel like there'd be some good moments about that Doxy wall if this was still the big god days.
They had most of their targets set onto Bone 7. Poor Bone 7 got the worst of those comments, that's for sure. And no, I agree with you. ROTK is going to probably be hearing a lot about that one. But here they go. They want to get something happen here. Mid lane, Lanham is going to get connected with the fissure, but he's just a little too deep. And with that, I guess they create enough space that they're going to just go for their next objective. And it looks like this mid tier 1 shouldn't be too much trouble for him. Just looking to get the most out of this Aegis. We could expect to just see them quickly go towards that top lane and get another tier 1 down and continue to boost up huge amounts for their own economy. And here's Inflame flirting a bit with Zhao Wei. He's not looking to go too deep for that one. And it just looks like it's now LGD who are getting the most out of this early game. And it's a lot of pressure here on EHOME. Uh-oh.
RTK may get caught out here. There's Lina running at him. Oh, bad. Elsewhere, Shadow Fiend may be caught out. There's your Wisp relocated, and I'll bring down the Shadow Fiend with it. Getting low. Does your DDC Wisp, but seems like with the bottle heals, they will be okay. Uh-oh. Wait, walking in a 4. Don't know about that one. Oof. Director did not have a plan.
That was what I call a facial. Just walks down the hill and gets welcomed with an immediate hammer to the face. And, well, they still run and look to turn the corner here. And it looks like they are able to get the quick pick onto Lanham with the Vengeful Spirit. As, you know, just a quick and easy fissure is what secures that one. Now you have Yao with 1k gold thrown together. He's just trying to muscle forward and get a hold of that precious Blink Dagger. And as they trade back and forth, it's still LGD up ahead 7-6. They're sporting a nice little net worth advantage of about 2k. XP, though, about square even. While they're getting a lot across the map, EHOME are very persistent about making sure they continue their farm game. And as we saw, DDC, level 7 on the Wisp. He's got relocate at the ready here, and we could see some adventures between him and ZYF on the Sven. And after the Mask of Madness has been complete, he's doing the smart thing. He's going right for the BKB. It's going to be a bit early, and we already talked about the downsides to that in the last game, and it will be kind of ticked down sooner than later, but it's very obvious he needs to have it against this LGD lineup.
Yeah, and you're not against like as crazy of a team fight lineup. It's not like there's double Ravage, Sand King, Burrow Strike, Epicenters, and even just like a short cooldown Burrow Strike causing you problems. It's just so you don't get blown up when you initiate in. I think this is not a game where it's going to matter as much if your BKB gets down to 5 seconds super early. Last game was a big problem, this game less so, but I think he wants to be able to fight as early as possible, and BKB will allow him to do so. We'll see him maybe get caught out here mid lane, though. Here comes the smoke gang from LGD.
Okay, ZYF, he's got a run here, and he's not even popping off the extra move speed. He's able to just kind of take the southern road and make it out and away. Ooh, Vision not going to be catching DDC, even gets the safety tether, and they're like, oh, well, we're here. Let's go ahead and go for these Ancients, which are beautifully stacked up. He's got those 2 points into cleave, and you can just see the quick work he does. I mean, you think Troll could farm Ancient stacks fast. Just look at Sven hit, and, you know, dishing out the God Strength on top of it. It does have a relatively low cooldown, so as long as you know you're not looking to engage anytime soon, he's happy to kind of put it out there if it means getting the farm that much faster.
So EHOME's still in a pretty good position here. The gold difference is mostly just comprised of Silas farm. He is doing so ridiculously well, flash farming like crazy, and that's pretty much the entire net worth difference between the two teams. Apart from him, Sven, Queen of Pain, these heroes are on track. It's just Silo, doing Silo things. This is what this guy does.
Inflame waiting behind us. Meanwhile, I hear a Laguna fly out into DDC as they might get Zhao Wei down here. He pops off the wand, but oh, they can't get close enough to go for the spirits. They know that trouble's coming in from the north, but they're still looking to fight as they set up a sonic wave from behind. That Invis Inflame able to get in pretty good position here, and now it's just kind of everyone all over the place running around with their heads cut off, but now they're able to make a move. Inflame able to blink away though. Here we go. Oh, caught with a big echo slam. ZYF just locked in place, and that's why he needs that BKB. He's not able to get anything done. Now Sylar on the run, and whoa, Inflame eating a lot of damage. He can't get away. His blink's already been used, and he will go down. And it's just taken to the neutral creep. Okay, well, convenient right there. The little flying bats are able to help him out with that one, but still, he gets dropped. And this comes at the cost of their tier 2 tower in the top lane. And, well, it would look like slight pressure towards the base. It's still looking pretty good for LGD.
Yeah, LGD can just keep taking objectives as well. Like, there's no good answer to this Necro 3. I guess when Sven has a BKB, he can just man up and fight, tank the Necro books and all that. But if he's BKBing and just fighting Necro books, LGD are going to back off as soon as they see that Sven BKB. They're going to look to kite him. And they've got okay
Dire's
kiting.
middle
Maybe he's
tower
got
is
the
being
mech so we can at least survive the BKB Sven to some extent. Everyone's got like their Earthshaker as well as the Lina have their Tranquil Boots, so they're reasonably fast and just get that extra bit of
Dire's
armor
middle
as well.
tower
So
taking
just these small
damage.
little things that LGD have. I don't. It doesn't strike me as if they're going to have a big problem dealing with the BKB Sven plus Wisp, because if they go in with the Wisp, Wisp will get blown up and then Sven will get stranded and they just wait the BKB to end and then they kill off ZYF. So I think for the most part, LGD is still in a pretty good position. Not to mention, even a BKB Sven, Lycan can still go onto him and just try right-click him down with the physical damage.
That is true, and, you know, Sven does hit hard and cleave, but that means he's probably going to easily bring down the Necro Book, which could end up blowing back up in his face, so it gets a bit tricky there, but he's just hoping that with his raw power between him and possibly being tethered up, which that is also another thing that could be a bit tricky with having Sven as your Wisp partner, is he's got to go for an early BKB, and then your tethering becomes a bit, you know, tricky. You have to hope that you get the tethered preemptively, and if not, then you risk him kind of being into the fray, and there's no way to safely get him out with a relocate or overcharge so he gets the most out of the damage, but they'll look to try to make the best of it here. It's LGD who do continue to pressure. They want this tier 2 mid lane as EHOME continue their side push, but Zhao Wei actually going to get caught from a wild Lanham. Catches him with the magic missile. There's going to be the Fisher onto ROTK, trying to just simply move in there, but he can't get anything done. The pointy-headed one just lift up, toss back down, and taken apart. And with that takedown, LGD are going to try to secure this tier 2. And, well, it looks like they'll do it.
A bit of an odd move from Zhao Wei to go for that play when LG, I guess maybe for EHOME it wasn't clear they were just 5-man down mid, but LG ready to go. They got Necro 3 up. They're going to force the high ground here, and there's a glyph available, but EHOME going to get back in defense. Sven's BKB, and this is it. This Sven has to get something done with his defense.
RTK still out though for 15 seconds before we get that big wall. There's going to be the swap back. Maybe could be in trouble, but he gets healed up. That's the mech. Echo Slam flies through. Lanham going to be brought down. Sonic Wave flies on through. Immediate double kill. Sven, let me show you how strong I am as he's able to muscle on 4, but then it's just a Laguna blade to his face.
As you say that.
As I say that, the caster curse very much will here. And now Sylar, is he able to dish it out the damage onto ROTK? He's able to pop out the mech. There's a vacuum, and there's another wall, which Sylar is like, that's a cool wall, but I'm going to TP out of here. And
Never
same
just
with
TPs
Xiao
out.
Wei. All right.
Sven buys back and gets nothing done. Like, that's... There was a really nice fissure, because Sven ran in with his God Strength. He was tethered up by the Wisp, but the fissure meant he had to run around the fissure. He broke the tether as well, so without the movement speed from tether, he had problems. Like, he couldn't finish off the Lina, because Lina was just too fast. With Tranquil Boots and just 1 point in Fiery Souls, Lina was outrunning the Sven and Mask of Madness, so... It was a great Sonic Wave and a cleave from Sven, but just killing the 2 heroes, LGD just backed off, kited the Sven, and then reinitiated.
It's just, this is those downsides to Sven. He just seems to be kited so easily, and they just kind of try their best to sidestep him, and then once the BKB runs out, they're like, all right, boys, let's get him. And they just turn it right onto him, and just, he goes down. And LGD make a smart call to pull back away. EHOME don't get a whole lot out of that, and even now the buyback being expended here, he's got to just kind of put all of his item progression on hold a little bit further. And you can see the bits of potential there. Sven can definitely hit hard, but he's able to get a hold of someone. But you're just trying to build on top of that so that when you have that small window of opportunity to get out that brute force damage, you take as many people down as possible. Because if they're able to kind of sidestep you, avoid out the God Strength, avoid out your BKB timing, then that's when the trouble really comes. So they'll just try their best to continue to muscle up some items. Meanwhile, they split push here, top lane, ROTK. I mean, I was talking a lot about his Darkseer play in recent games, and for this one, though, it's been a bit shaky so far. Hopefully he kind of shakes it off and will come back and land out those big vacuum wall setups for his team. But all the meanwhile, LGD, they just get a very easy Roche, and that's a free Aegis in the pocket of maybe.
Yep, they'll go back to 5-manning. I mean, they could go for the mid lane. There's a Rax there, but it looks like they want to make a pit stop towards this bottom lane tier 2 tower. And if they really want, they just push high ground bottom lane. Yeah, there's no tier 3 mid lane, but hey, they've got the creep wave at bottom, and they're ready to go with this Aegis Necro 3. Also, the BKB on the Shadow Fiend coming out now, so that's going to be the other big item. It looks like they may swing mid and make their attention, their focus towards that exposed mid Rax.
So yeah, all outer towers now secured, a Rax exposed, LGD just in beautiful standing at a point when they have a lineup to really make the best of it with your Lycan Sylar. they'll just continue to dish up the pressure as much as possible. They don't want to allow an opportunity for EHOME to farm up those kind of items, as I was talking about before, so they can be a big factor. And they just keep moving in. Necrobook is out, and here's the pressure onto the rack suddenly. We're not even 20 minutes into this game. It looks like EHOME, it's on them to make big here. And the Rax goes down. ZYF, he's waiting. He will pop out. A little bit of the passive. Stun to fly, but the Rax goes down, and EHOME can't do anything. They'll eat a fissure for the trouble, but there goes mid lane.
And let's swing bottom lane, I imagine, is the call from LGD. Like, why not just do that again? Silas building towards an Assault Crest, has a Viper Stone. They haven't even touched the SF BKB, which is still at 10 seconds, and all they're really waiting on is the Necrobook cooldown. So I think they'll swing bottom lane. By the time they get close to the base, they'll have Necro 3 soon. And EHOME, they're looking to make a play here. They're trying to catch LGD by surprise with this smoke initiation.
Let's see if they can get it, though. Suddenly they popped. Maybe scouts it out, pops his BKB, however, so the stun not going to happen. A swap back to save him from the Requiem, and now his BKB is going to be about over. Sylar goes right for the Wisp here to get him down, and the stun will connect. He does get stunned himself. They end up taking down the Wisp. The wall is there, but it's not going to be connecting with a whole lot. Yule's up now on the Sven, and he'll be followed up with a whole lot of hate, as there's going to be the stun and the Laguna, and this could be a pretty quick game, too. And yeah, somehow, some way, Sylar finds himself out of trouble, and he's going to be A-okay. And now it's bottom lane that's in trouble, and Sven's out for almost a minute without a buyback. Looks like we could be going to a 1-1 series here, guys, as the Rax is just slowly to fall.
This is your Sylar-like in action. This guy is just... I really think maybe the best Lycan player there is. Him and Lua, to me, like the two best Lycan players out there, and Sylar just highlighting here with an impressive performance. They get up to it, laser rack. EHOME can't turn this one around. Sven, it's not... This with Sven duo is nice and all, but it just feels like a bit too specific. It doesn't really fit the current metagame. I'm not sure if there was a better pick with that last pick. You mentioned the Chaos Knight, I think, would have been good. I think even the standard Juggernaut would have just been a lot more stable and consistent. Yeah, it's not really an amazing Wisp partner, but it doesn't get kited. It can actually fight into these heroes with an Omni Flash. I think it would have just been a better overall pick.
Flame, okay, he blinks to catch up and hopefully get someone down, but he's the one that ends up falling, and Lanham's like, we're done. Okay, it's obvious we're not going to be coming back from this one. We've lost 2 sets of racks. We continue to lose even more, and we're just going to hope to just kind of keep our heads up and fight right back. But it's LGD who look damn sharp on the back of Sylar and his Lycan. They make quick work. Very quick work here of EHOME, and we have an even series on our hands, 1-1, as we'll get rolling into game number 3 of this best of 5 series. Good stuff so far, though.
Looking a bit shaky for LGD with that game 1 loss, and I was like, wow, they came through the winning bracket. They were looking good. They've hardly dropped a game, but
and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
EHOME, at least, EHOME, I thought were going to maybe just pull away with the series, but LGD bounce back and tie things up. Basically, we have a best of 3 in our hands now.
Let's do it. We're going to hop into game number 3 in just a moment here. I'm Coddle Guy. That's God. We're beyond the summit. And, well, we do appreciate your support. Please stick around for more Dota action coming right up.